Everything is going extremely well.
And now, showtime.
There we go. Good morning. Wow. That's embarrassing. Okay. Well, here I am thinking I can sneak in a little bit of a bagel, and I can't. It's good to see you all here today. We're going to dive right into it. First off, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, all of that good stuff to everyone out there. We celebrate both in this household, so I hope that you have had a great week. Also, remember today, the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, is the beginning of Q5, which is basically Black Friday 2.0. If you do it right, you can make more money in Black Friday than you did all summer. And if you do it right, you will be able to set this up in a way that makes next summer 10 times more profitable. So we're going to break that down today, then get to all of your questions about everything else. Hey, everybody. First off, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for your support here. This year has been incredible, especially on this channel. I think we've grown over 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We started up Disruptor Academy, and from zero, we went from zero to $12,000, $13,000 a month in 90 days. We made a couple videos on how we did that. And we did the Meta MBA program. We rebuilt it all post Andromeda, and we got 3 cohorts by it. Big announcement on that, by the way. We are opening up the Meta MBA program for a January 12th cohort. Now, we are opening that to only 20 seats. And, well, we'll just say a double-digit percentage of those seats are already gone. So if you want to act on that, let me know. Comment down below if you have any questions. Otherwise, go to disruptorschool.com/MBA and put in an application today. Or just go to Disruptor School and get some of the free training that we have if you don't think you're ready for it. We have a great 40-minute free training just for you there. And with that being said, let's dive into it. What's up, man? It's 10 p.m. in India. Bonjour, India. Nice to see you. Side note, my daughter painted this for me. She's 2. And now I have a coffee cup from my little girl, Charlie. Here we go. Fantastic. Oh, I think the artwork increases the flavor profile by a good 37%. Okay, so that being said, let's get into it today. And then we're going to dive into, I want to try to get this lesson done in the next 5 minutes so that you know exactly what to do. And then we're going to dive into all of the comments and questions because I've been dropping more of these reaction videos because you all seem to like it. Now, if there are other reaction videos that you would like me to do, other videos you would like me to do reactions to break down and give you fact and from the fiction, drop them in the comment section down below. I would love to see them. Half of the videos I've done have been just based off of your submissions, and I really love it. I have another Sam Piliero video that I'm going to do today, as well as one from Matt Shiver. And there's a lot of other YouTubers out there talking about Facebook ads and a bunch of other stuff that I don't even know. So let me know what it is that you're seeing because I want to be as helpful to you all as possible. All right. Now, that being said, one more time. There we go. Let's get into it today. So what I want to talk about when it comes to the best Facebook ad strategy for 2026 post Andromeda is really 3 core pieces. Now, the first off, of course, I'm going to tell you the one campaign method. Now, there's a lot of people that are going to say it doesn't work. We have a great video coming out that's going to actually break it down in far more detail. Plus, one of the reasons I do the reaction videos is to talk about all of the folks like Konstantinos and Sam and Chase that said, well, it didn't work. And then they show their ad account where they set it up improperly and then showed that it was actually doing as good or better than the rest of their account. And then, like in Chase's example, he then showed what else he was doing in the account that proved why the one campaign didn't work. Theory was complete nonsense because he just explains all of the other things that were competing with it. And all of them are focused on return on ad spend. So the first thing that I want to do when it comes to really understanding how to make a lot more money and give you the best strategy for Facebook is we need to debunk the concept of ROAS. Remember, return on ad spend is a trash metric. It is not real money. So let's break this down here real quick, okay? I want to get this right. I'm also making sure that I pull up these comments here, show comments on stage. Boom, there we go. Now, the first thing that we need to do when understanding why return on ad spend isn't real money, is begin to understand what it is, okay? Why is it that I always say fuck ROAS, all of that? Okay, return on ad spend is revenue divided by ad spend. Okay, that revenue number is the attributed money, the sales revenue that we attribute to that one ad or ad set or campaign or day or platform, whatever it happens to be. The problem is this: that platform or that ad is not the only reason that sale occurred, especially with Andromeda. We need to really begin to understand that Andromeda on Meta is pushing for incrementality. It's not competing to say, what is the ad that is the reason this thing happened? Because that isn't true. That doesn't ever happen. The average customer journey is many touch points. And we've had a lot of videos on this channel, but it's completely likely that on a Monday, you're at the coffee shop and you open up and you see an ad for something. And then the next day you Google something. And the next day after that, you go to the website, sign up for the discount. And then on Thursday and Friday, you get served with another ad. Maybe you Google it, open up that email to get your 20% off and make a purchase. Well, in that case, Instagram saw it and Facebook saw you and Klaviyo gets credit for a sale and Google gets credit for a sale. The point is this: the reason you bought on Friday isn't because of just the ad you saw on Friday. So we can't assign all of the credit to that ad. And more importantly, it's not even the only channel. So if that sale is getting attributed to multiple channels, we have duplicated attribution. What that means is that revenue that we assign to that one ad is not solely because of that ad. So that revenue number isn't really accurate, because either you're saying that no other channel is the reason that it happened, or you're willing to account that revenue to all other channels. So basically, the point is this: that revenue is not because of that one ad, so that revenue number is inaccurate. Also, because there are multiple ads in that journey, because there might be multiple ads from Facebook and Instagram, even just on Facebook alone or on Meta alone. Because that ad isn't the only reason that sale happened. Like if you were to turn all of your ads off today, odds are you're going to get a sale at least tomorrow, maybe even the next day, from an ad they saw maybe yesterday or last week. So the ad spend on that ad isn't the only reason that it happened, and that revenue number isn't accurate. So it's an inaccurate number divided by another number that isn't the reason that it happened. That is terrible math. And more importantly than all of that, it's not actual profit. It's not actual revenue. Simply put, a 5x ROAS on a $10 ad, $50 return on ads is a $50 AOV. That is $40 profit, $40 GPT. $40 GPT is less than half of the profit of a 2x ROAS on a $100 CPA. Because $100 CPA, 2x ROAS, 200 AOV, that's $100 profit. That's 2.5 times as much profit as a 5x ROAS. But if you're only focused on the ROAS number, you're going to constantly be chasing less and less profit. And this is going to get us to the second point that I want to talk about today: campaign structures and competition. So one of the things that I see constantly is people talking about, well, we need to worry about retargeting and we need to have engaged users, but we need to ultimately always be focused on new, and we need to have these complex structures and all this other stuff. Well, let me help you understand this. If you're focused on high return on ad spend, you're likely focused on the ads that, when you look at a 4PI analysis, are going to have higher frequencies. Now, remember, the frequency on any ad is never 1.0. So every single ad is retargeting people every single day, all of the time, everywhere. You cannot avoid it. Now, the reason that really matters is because when you have a new customer and then somebody starts to engage with one ad, they go into your engaged audiences. And then if they buy, they become an existing customer, but they might still engage with your ad. So the breakdown that you see in a lot of videos is completely useless. But why that's more important is the ads that have a higher return on ad spend tend to be the ads that hit people who are further down in the funnel, people that have been exposed to ads more often. Now in the 4PI, we see that these are really profitable ads and why they do that. The problem is that if somebody on that Friday in the journey that we talked about before, where it's an ad on a Monday and then They see Google it on a Tuesday, sign up for an email on the website on a Wednesday, and then by Friday, they've opened up the email, they've searched again and got served 2 or 3 more ads. The ad at the very end of that touch point, they might have a frequency at that point of a 2 or a 3, is far less incremental because that sale is also being attributed to email and to Google. Now, if that sale had happened on a Monday before somebody signed up for all the other platforms, it would have been way more profitable, but also far less likely. The point is this: higher return on ad spend numbers tend to be sales that are also more attributed to other channels, meaning they're sales that were more likely to happen anyway. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it means that focusing on high return on ad spend numbers are the reason that you're struggling and get stuck at certain pain points. Now, Konstantinos talked about in his videos constantly that the platform is like trying to specifically throttle you at certain sales numbers. And that's objectively not true. But one of the reasons that he's constantly getting stuck is because he's focusing on trying to get the best return on ad spend, meaning he's ultimately optimizing for the least incremental result and then constantly just getting stuck by his inability to add to the pool. So he can only grow that business to the capacity of taking as much credit for the work of all of the other marketing channels. Now, that's not me taking shots at Konstantinos. It's just being a performance marketer. You live and die by your ability to have a report that says that you are responsible for things happening. But if you're a growth marketer, if you're trying to make more money as a business, it's not about it's not about trying to take as much credit for all the sales that happened. It's trying to make more sales happen. It's not about more credit. It's about more profit. And that's a very big difference. So what I want you to start focusing on here is, first, understanding that the customer journey is a lot bigger than one touch point. ROAS is not a real number, and you have to start focusing on profit volume. The next thing that I want you to understand is that new audiences, existing customers, engaged audiences in a one campaign setup, it's automatically throttling. And you see that inside of the video that we did for Sam Piliero, that don't use the one campaign method, because it literally quite showed how it did it. Same thing in Chase's video. It literally showed how it was throttling that delivery. Once those users were converted, it was pushing for incrementality. Now, there are a lot of other pieces to this, but I don't want to get completely sidetracked. The last thing that I want to tell you to focus on is, no matter how you do it, understand that the most important thing is consistency in the data. The more ads you launch, the less data any one of those ads gets. Now, if we understand it's a machine learning platform and there are learnings that happen at the ad level and the ad set level and the campaign level, and people that tell you that the learnings only happen at one place don't understand how it works. Learnings happen everywhere, okay? The ads learn who to get shown to. The ad set learns which ad to show. The campaign learns which ad set to show, right? There's a bunch of that. But also, campaigns don't talk to each other. So if you're running multiple campaigns or multiple ad sets within an ABO, which is basically just multiple campaigns in an ad account, those are all combative. They're all not complementary. They ultimately cannibalize each other. One does good at the expense of the other, but they're not adding to each other. And the reason that that's really important is because that means they're all stealing information from each other. And every time you invest in getting an ad to learn and then turn it off, what you're doing is saying, I've invested in teaching this campaign or this ad how to do something, and now I'm going to turn it off. So I'm throwing away that data. If you want consistency in your outcome, if you don't want ads to fatigue, stop launching new ads, stop turning ads off. It's not about getting the winning ad that's great and carries the whole campaign. You're not trying to find unicorns and scale them to the moon until you break them. Finding great players and then abusing them until they fail is not a path to long-term success. What you want is an environment that is complementary, with ultimately a system that allows you to bring in a consistent volume and quality of user, so that you can improve what search does, so that you can improve what email does, so that you can improve what CRO does. And the more different kinds of users you bring in, the more different type of people you have to appeal to, the more difficult it is for the machine to understand how to show the right ads to the right person at the right time to get them to convert. Because remember, that customer journey is never one touch point. So the more complicated you make that customer journey with ads that are less and less informed, trying to appeal to many different types of people, the more difficult it is for you as the business owner to ultimately scale the business, because you have 1,000 different people coming into your store for 1,000 different reasons to want to buy 1,000 different things for 1,000 different pieces of motivation. And ultimately, that means your ability to get any of them to buy twice is basically completely mute or completely impossible. And ultimately, what that means is that you constantly have to put more and more time and money into launching more and more ads to try to trick more and more people into buying once, because you are forcing your business to need to be first order profitable. The reason you're going to grow this year in a way that you've never been able to is because you're going to stop focusing on performance marketing vanity metrics. You're going to no longer be a hunter trying to define your value by how good you can get at a number that isn't real. You're not focusing on return on ad spend by launching as many ads as possible, because Andromeda is smart now. It can handle all of it. That's not what it's about. Andromeda is smart now, so you don't have to. A hunter is able to provide value and feed themselves if they're able to catch, kill, and eat whatever they can today. But a farmer can feed 1,000 hunters, and that work at the same level of effort, it compounds over time, because the farmer produces and then can plant more seeds, grow more ground. And as they continue to get better and better and rotate their crops and continue to expand, a farmer can build empires. Humans lived in caves for hundreds of thousands of years on hunting. But as soon as we learned how to farm and how to propagate and how to ultimately compound and leverage our value above and beyond just the thing today, we built empires. We went to the moon. Now, if you want to go to the moon, you got to stop hunting. Now, we're going to have a lot of videos in this channel over the next month that are going to break down retargeting structures, 3-2-2 ads, one campaign. We're going to talk about how to optimize for customer journeys. We're going to talk about how to build structures to get multiple touch points, how to get more people to buy again. So please subscribe to this channel, stick around. And if you want to see all of that information well before we get it out here, please go ahead and join the Disruptor Academy. We've got a great thing here. Boom. Just check this out. Let's see, where is it? Boom, right there. So we're going to get all of that going here in a minute. But the point is this. Your path to success this year is ultimately looking at, how do I stop focusing on today and start building for tomorrow? Because if you're always stuck trying to worry about the pebbles, you will never move mountains. And most of the people that I see teaching ads run agencies or creative services. Creative service people are trying to get you to buy more ads. Agency folks ultimately can grow to the capacity of whatever they're in. They are like lizards inside of cages that can grow to the size of the cage, right? They're like fish inside of a fishbowl. They can't get any bigger than that fishbowl. They just can't do it. And that's because ultimately their business is not predicated on making your business better. Their business is predicated on taking as much credit for the success that you have. And that's not a slight against agencies, and I don't think all agencies are like that. But if anybody ever says, we are good because our return on ad spend is higher, what they're doing is saying, we are good because we are able to show that we are more responsible for the end result of your business than somebody else. But what they're not showing you is how much better your business is because you have them on board. A good business is what scales an ad account. A great ad account can't scale a bad business. So focus on the business, understand how to scale your business model with your ads, and you're going to be in a much better place. Now, all that being said, growth marketers all the way. I think I said I was going to do that in 5 minutes and then it'd be in like 15. Anyway, let's get to the questions here, and then we're going to start just opening up everything. Hope you're all doing very well. Remember, it's Q5, scale to the fucking moon. Now, let's see here. How do you create this audience to see in the breakdown? Let's see. Okay, let's just get to the top. How are you, sir? I'm doing very well. I hope you are too. How do you create this audience to see in the breakdown? I was on a bit of a rant there, buddy. So can you comment below which audience specifically you are talking about? And then I will tell you. Let's see. In the one campaign, do I need to create multiple campaign for multiple product, multiple collection? Yes. Only one campaign per business objective. It's not about having one campaign with one ad set and throwing all your ads in there, which is what everybody says doesn't work. Now, to be fair, I invented the one campaign. I never said that you should do that. It was always about multiple ad sets. I made this sticky note literally describing the one campaign 5 years ago, and it has made plenty of people millionaires. This has multiple ad sets in it. Like, this is the original One Campaign. This is the origin of it. If you go back and Google One Campaign, the very first mention of it ever is my channel with this thumbnail, with this sticky note, right? And it's something I've been doing for years before that. The point is, in this question, one campaign method, multiple campaigns for multiple products. Yes, each product or collection should have its own campaign. And going further, what we talked about, instead of trying to be a salesman, instead of trying to be a hunter, trying to be a farmer, understand of all of these campaigns you're talking about, all of these products and collections, which ones get people to come back and buy again more often. And if you don't know, I built a tool for you to do this. And we're going to walk through this real quick. This is Disruptor Tools, okay? Now, this is available for anyone. It's tools.disruptorschool.com, okay? Tools.disruptorschool.com. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. Now, I've been showing a couple of businesses before. Let's change it up. I just joined in with a supplement business. So let's get in with their numbers right now. Let's see. Where is the data in here? So what we need to make this stuff work is we get your receipts from Shopify, okay? That's all we need. We just need to get your receipts from Shopify, and then we can upload these into the platform. And when we do that, we can then break it down to understand what's best for your business. Now, this business that we're going to show you right here does about $400,000 a month on Amazon. So first off, let's go to Hero Offer Intelligence, okay? Now we can just grab our Shopify orders. Let's go here. We're going to click to upload. There's our orders. I just downloaded it. Boom. Orders, export number 1. Fantastic. All right. Now, if we were to go in here and start, we could product group by different sizes and variants and all of that, although in this business, we don't really need to. If we come down and begin to see all products by analysis and just focus on which products we've made the most sales on, what we're doing is trying to see what's an outlier. Now, this person said, well, my LTV is stuck at around 80 bucks. And I've got a couple products that are really popular. Okay. Obviously, that's popular. That's popular. And he's really coming up with something else is rising over the last few months, right? But here's what's really interesting. When you look at this, what is the best product that this person so far is not really leveraging? If you look at this business, what is the number one thing we should be promoting if we want to go from hunter to farmer? If you look at this business, someone's going to tell you, oh, build the best campaigns, do this, launch 1,000 ads to do that, have the structures and new audiences and engage and all that other stuff. No, I mean, first off, all of that is nonsense. The second thing is, if you're not promoting this, you're not going to do nearly as well. This product has the shortest average time to second purchase of any of the top selling products. And the AOV between the first 2 sales is sometimes 50% higher or better, nearly double that of everything else. If you want to make more money, get more people to come back and spend more money when they do. 70 bucks, 60, right? It takes nearly 2 months for these people to buy. And mind you, this is 47 and this is 44, so it's very close. But this person at 98 spends way more than this person at 57. Every time you sell this or this or this, you lose at least $30, sometimes $40. And it takes you longer to even get to that level of a loss, right? Every time you sell magnesium glycinate, it takes you an extra 12 days to make $40 less. This is a liability. This is a win. If you want to grow your business, you need to understand these things, okay? Now, this is just one of the tools that we have inside of here. We also have the customer journey insights. I'm not going to make this a huge commercial for this tool. I just want you to see that there's a lot of things going on in this tool. And you also have the month over month. So you can see the reoccurring revenue continues to grow in this business. We're getting more and more money coming in on it. And there's so many comments and everything else going on here. Hold on a sec. So we can see that the reoccurring revenue is taking up a higher and higher percentage of the sales. So this is a healthy business that is growing. This is the Shopify side of an existing Amazon store, right? But if we go to the overall totals, what is the products that gets the highest number of second purchase, okay? Oh, look at this, the number 2. Now, I will tell you this. They're not even promoting this offer with any ads. They're promoting this. They're promoting that. This is not being promoted with ads. So if we began to make campaigns to sell this and made a custom conversion event specifically to market to track the ultimate collagen peptide, we know that 53% of the people come back and buy again. Now, in this person's store, it's about 35-40% of customers come back and buy. 53% come back and buy again. Now, the average time when somebody buys this for them to buy something else is 40 days. Now, we saw when somebody bought this and it was the first purchase, it was 44. So when it's the second purchase, they're even more likely to come back. This is simple. Get this, and you're going to make more money. Now, we understand that they've been pushing this thing and struggling to grow. Why? Oh, because it's less than 30% second purchase rate and it takes 50 days. Are you beginning to see what matters? The business is what scales the ad account. If you're trying to push this product, you're never going to get nearly as good results as trying to push that one. Simple. Okay? So that, my point to that, to getting back to this question is, should you create one campaign for multiple products? Yes, but also you're going to find out very quickly which products you should and should not promote. Again, that is available at tools.disruptorschool.com. You can get in, I think it's $100 for all 3 tools. We're about to take away the individual offer. And we have a huge promotion right now. If you want to get like the annual plan, I think it's like 30, 40, 50% off. So just jump in there and snag it. Now, good to see you too, Ruben. Awesome for him. Okay. Yo, Charlie, good to see you, buddy. Oh, you're him. Got it. Growth marketer all the way. Thank you. Should I optimize my campaign for booking as well as qualified sales lead? Custom event will fire for either, as well as higher quality leads. You aim for 50 of those. I would optimize my campaign for booking, but then optimize my creative, as in which creatives do I continue to run based on how many of them are more likely to get me high quality leads. Focus on the thing that gets you out of learning, then make qualitative decisions around the one that set you up for success. All right. What do you suggest for retargeting campaign for warm lead from Google Ad services, service-based products? I have a whole video coming out on retargeting campaigns. My number one recommendation for this, just to make it really short, is take a look at broad retargeting. People who've already been to your website, who've already engaged with your social media, get them to come in. And if you want to get extra bonus points and start to make a lot more money, don't serve them the normal offer. Give them bundles, right? Give them 3-month supply, annual plan, whatever it happens to be, so that when somebody comes back, what you're doing when you're paying extra to get those people to convert, you're getting them to convert on something that's higher value. Give them the but wait, there's more moment, the rebuttal upsell. I have another video about that that is going to come out very soon, that we are finishing up right now. Let's see. I asked in the Academy about launching a new service alongside. You said ideally there are separate custom conversion events for different content ID. It is for lead gen, not e-com. Absolutely. If it's lead gen, not e-com, still custom conversion event. You can still do it. Instead of content ID, you do it for lead quality. Good lead, bad lead. Like if you were to come in and go through the funnel for the Meta MBA program, which again launches on January 12th. And if you're spending over $500, I know that the folks who are spending over $500 a day have like an over 90% success rate. And I close about 1 in 2 people that hop on a call. They're ready to go. They want to get from 500 to 2,000. And we get there about 80% of the time for those folks in 90 days or less. So if you are spending over $500 a day, I know you're a good lead. If you're spending only $100 to $200 a day, I know you're not ready yet, and I push you towards the Academy. I know if you're spending over $1,000 a day, I have an 80% close rate, and those people overwhelmingly get to the 2,500 to 5,000 within 6 months. So those are great leads. So I have bad, good, great quality lead. I can break that down inside of my dashboard, and I can understand which of my ads are bringing me the attention of the kind of person who's most likely to succeed in my business, and who's most likely to bring in other people, and who's most likely to convert on the sales calls. So I close most of my calls. My close rate is about 60, 70%, because I'm only ever attracting the attention to people who are likely to convert. All right. Do you create different campaigns for different types of leads that we want to attract? No, I'll put them all into the same campaign. If you want to attract different types of leads, it's the same thing as trying to sell different types of products. Certain leads are going to perform better than others. I did this with a company called Key Cafe, and we got them from about 4,000 a day to about 20,000 a day. And we attracted a bunch of different types of leads, focusing on a bunch of different types of customers. But when we found 3 different kinds of customers that were the absolute best, the best ideal customer avatars, we just got rid of running ads to anybody else because it was a liability, right? It's the same things we showed on the products. And the same thing I just talked about. Why am I going to try to attract the attention of somebody for the MBA that's spending $100 a day if I know that money could be spent trying to attract the attention of somebody spending $500 or $1,000? I know that they're far more likely to succeed. I know they're far more likely to sign up. And so I'm wasting my time and money trying to reach people who are less likely to be successful and less likely to convert. Stop spending your time and money attracting different types of leads that aren't nearly as good for your business. Keeping going here. How to create this audience and the breakdown engaged. Oh, you don't, the engaged audience is just go to custom audiences, people that engage your Instagram or Facebook account. We have a whole video coming out on that. Without custom event for different services, do we confuse the pixel with multiple personas? Yes. Same thing as if you're promoting different products. If it's all going to a purchase, you're just basically selling a machine, selling a stick of gum, and selling a Lamborghini, or the same thing. And then you're wondering why you can't sell the higher ticket product. You're constantly focused on first order profitability because you're focused on ROAS. You're trying to get a 10x ROAS on a $2 sale instead of a 2x ROAS on a $100 sale. And you're making $10 instead of $100 on every single transaction when it comes to actual net profit. You are working far more and you are stressing out far more and putting in way more time and effort and money to make 1/10 of the amount of a profit. That just doesn't make any sense. All right. Your take on using top of funnel 322 for awareness. I mean, I'm okay with doing this stuff if you want to, if you need to, as creative concepts. Yeah. What should we do if customers don't buy the same product twice? For example, you sell kids sound books and most people don't make a second purchase. People will buy from you a second time if your product is good. I would sign up for disruptor tools, figure out what product somebody, when they buy once, they're likely to come back and buy again. I don't expect them to buy the same thing. In the supplement business, in this example, that we showed today, it was very likely because they buy the supplement that they like. And we've done this also. I've done this with author companies. I've done this with clothing companies. I've done this with all sorts of different businesses. And the clothing companies, when people sell a $400 jacket, this person comes back in 70 days to buy something else. It's not the $400 jacket, but you're getting people to like the brand, so they become customers. So you become a business instead of a salesperson. You become a growth marketer instead of performance marketer. You start focusing on LTV and returning revenue rates and stop focusing on trying to sell anything to anybody and prioritizing silly things like ROAS, right? You start building money instead of taking credit for sales that would have maybe happened anyway. What does all of this LTV come into play with new brands with one SKU? If you are a new brand with one SKU, you are not a brand, you are a product, and you need to scale that product and understand how to sell things to people more than once. And I would absolutely recommend introducing a couple other SKUs for vertical integration. This is basically a website with a bunch of products, and he is scaling some products and not others. Yes. And it's not that he's scaling some products and not others. It's that he's selling products and he has a couple dozen SKUs for a business because his business has been around for quite some time. But some products are far better at getting people to come back and buy again. Remember, products sell even if you're not running ads to them. And the products that you're running ads to aren't the only thing that people buy when they see that ad. So if you look at the AOV of your product and your ads, it's almost inevitable that the AOV is going to be dramatically different ad to ad to ad to ad to ad, just like the conversion rate for lead folks is going to be different from ad to ad to ad to ad. And that's because people are different. You're attracting the attention of people who behave differently. Funny enough, and I work with a women's clothing business, and the same jacket that gets people to buy, one ad has an AOV of 178. The other ad has an AOV of 320, and they send them to the same page. It's because certain ads attract the attention of certain types of people. And when we run in custom conversion events to see what people are buying, we can see that some ads are selling just the jacket and some are selling the jacket plus 2 or 3 other things. That is massive. Why? Well, the ad that sells just the jacket has a static of the jacket and talks about the discount you can get for being a new customer. The ad that sells plenty of other things puts a whole look together. You're attracting the attention of somebody who's not price conscious, somebody who wants to, you're solving a problem instead of focusing on somebody who's less likely to buy from you ever again. Fun fact, the people who take discounts have a far lower LTV than other folks, not just because of the discount, but because their second purchase rate is usually exponentially lower. And that goes for every business. In the context of lead gen for debt settlement, what would you go to plan to scale a 1K CBO with multiple media types? Track the conversion rate of each kind of ad, and then understand the ads with the lower conversion rate need to have a significantly lower cost per lead. And if you're trying to individually contact all these people personally, every time you buy a bad lead, you're wasting a salesperson's time. And if you want to maximize your time, your money for time, basically how much money do you make on each minute spent on the phone call, and you focus on getting more valuable time, you're going to make more money. And I've been doing that for lead gen and businesses for a decade now. Hi there. Hello. Let's see. But Charlie, if I'm bucking for optimize for volume of them per day is very low, how will I get out of learning? If you can't get out of learning, then none of this matters. You have to get out of learning before you can do anything else. How do I stop looking on today and start building for tomorrow? You start focusing on cash flow. You start getting people who are going to buy more than once. You start having a business that has multiple touch points within the customer journey. You're not just somebody with a stand and a product. You're somebody with a business that attracts the attention and trust of people so they come back to you. What do you think is happening when an ad does really well for 2 or 3 days? It can't really say it fatigue because the metrics are good and consistent with the 2 or 3 days where it gives all-time highs. What I'm assuming here is what it does really well for about 2 or 3 days is you launched it, it does really good, and then it falls off. Every ad you launches at the bottom of the funnel. Facebook is showing the ad to the people who it thinks is most likely to convert on that ad because it wants to understand how the warmest audience behaves, because that's the highest quality signal it can get to show that ad to other people. Right? When you launch some organic Instagram reel, it gets maybe 200 views, but if it's really good, it'll then show it to a bigger and bigger audience. It'll show it to people, it'll show that ad to people further and further up the funnel. The reason your ad does really well in the first couple of days is because it's only shown to the people on the bottom of the funnel. If you're constantly launching new ads, you're going to get really great return on ad spends, but never be able to increase the budget because every time you do, the performance sucks because you're only ever launching the people on the bottom of the funnel and your results are far less incremental. You're a hunter that's trying to take credit for the success of a business, not a farmer that's growing the business itself. Whew! Here we go. How do I stop looking for today and start building for tomorrow when a toy brand's higher LTV and higher profit numbers rather than focusing on just big revenue? If you're a toy brand, just sell other things that somebody could buy, even gift cards. Is it possible to make $1 billion from drop shipping? No. Do you suggest a winning ad set in one campaign? Yes, I always put my winning. I always have a winning ad set in the one campaign. Sometimes we can't afford to have more than that, so we test and scale all inside of one. If you want to learn more about the one campaign setup, specifically, if you want to learn more about how to do creative testing on Andromeda, or more on Meta after the Andromeda release, this is what we have inside Disruptor Academy. Okay, now I'm gonna. Let's dive into this real quick. Inside of Disruptor Academy, we launched a new course. This new course is creative testing on Meta after, here we go, back to the classroom here. By the way, jump in, join 1.5 members. Thank you all so much. Creative testing on Meta after Andromeda. Now, this will first tell you exactly what changed with Andromeda and how to understand it. We then get into how to understand the biggest impact so you can have a hero offer and then stop trying to make sales and start buying customers. We also walk through disruptor tools so you can figure out what those best customers are. Then we get into the big picture, how to leverage the scientific method for low spending accounts and for mature accounts. We get into 4PI analysis so that you can understand what the machine is doing with your ads and how to understand and break that down into action items for everything. We then get into every single kind of creative that you can run with deep dives and best practices for all of them. We even get into partnership ads. And we have a playbook for every kind of problem that you have, whether you have a top of funnel issue, a mid funnel issue, a bottom funnel issue, what types of content convert there, what it should look like, how to build those things, and ultimately build leverage. We also get into the market research stuff. How do you begin to attract the attention of people who are better for you based on internal numbers, based on building reconnaissance with your competitors' stuff? How do we understand what your competitors' best customers look like so they can become your best customers? And how do you internalize, how do you take all of your internal analytics and turn that into data that can be weaponized so that you can build customer profiles, which is step number 4. How do you build those 3 ICAs, those ideal customer avatars that allow you to stop spending a bunch of money on a bunch of ads to attract a bunch of attention to a whole bunch of people who never likely to buy from you again? How do we focus on just the best ones? How do we clearly identify them? Well, if we take all of the market research and dump it in here, it'll give you their age, their gender, their income range, their pain points, what they're looking for, how they behave, what they value, what they don't, why they buy again, and all of that. And then we get into writing copy for all of that, which then powers what the creative should look like. And we literally just get inside of the campaign and start building the one campaign from scratch. I show my screen, building a business, for building the ad account for Disruptor Tools. And we even show step-by-step 4-part process to building ad creatives with AI. You get this just simply by joining Disruptor Academy. You can get in, please check it out. And if you get in here and go to plans, You can get the free version, which gives you community access, but in the premium version, you get access to the Meta Blueprint, you get access to Begin to Win, you get access to the new creative testing post Andromeda course, all of the master classes that we have. We get live account audits, live Q&A calls, and join the MBA, join the annual plan, which is the best thing you can get outside the MBA. And that even gives you 1,000 proven ad templates organized by vertical and niche. And you get it for 35% off. By the way, this is what the templates look like over here. We've got it for electronics, supplements, clothing, Black Friday, home and garden, hair products, right? Like here's a beauty and self-care. All this is just a whole bunch of templates that you can open up in your Canva and then just swap out the images, swap out the words and hit export. I've already done all the hard work for you. All of it is here. Half of these ads and all of these are ads that have spent over 7 figures on the creative. And you're going to see ads in here from massive, massive brands. Okay. Man, we haven't even gotten to the comment section on YouTube today. We are plowing through stuff. Okay. We got a lot of questions. Honestly, folks, I love you guys. I've got to get to the comment section on YouTube. So please join Disruptor Academy. All right. We're just going to leave that up. But I got to get to the comment section because it's spicy. Konstantinos is in there talking smack. We got to get to it. So as much as I want to sit here and just answer all of your questions all the time, if you jump into the academy and you ask questions, I personally respond to each and every one of them myself. Okay. And sometimes I spend an hour or two in there just every day going through to make sure that everybody gets what they need. Now, that being said, let's get into it. I keep wanting to invite people. Anyway, here we go. Share screen, and then we get to the comment section. Boom. Let's get into it. Okay. Whew. All right. 33 minutes ago. Okay. I believe you were on the call. Is it possible to scale 5 or 6 SKUs with a different one campaign, each having 6 to 8 ads? Yes, it is. But if you want a campaign that's spending over $10,000 a day, there's no reason you should have 5 or 6 SKUs. There's no reason you should have this many campaigns. And you're probably not going to get there on only 6 to 8 ads per. You should probably have something that is actually set up proper to scale the business built around what gets you to the best place. And what's the max budget I've seen with 5 or 6 ads in one campaign? 100,000 plus a day. Easy. Remember, the amount of ads in your ad account has very little to do with how much money you can spend on the business. Tesla could drop 10 million a day in an ad account with one ad, and it could suck, and they'd still make money because the ad account isn't the reason the business scales. Okay? Like that logic that the performance marketers, the reason everybody else is successful, is just flawed. You have to scale the business. That's what it's all about. All right. Now, again, I see people commenting on this, so let's just get to it real quick. If you want to get into the MBA, my number one recommendation for that, if you want to get into it, is please go to disruptorschool.com/MBA, or just go straight to Disruptor School. This is the wait list. I get dozens of people through here. I personally review everybody on the wait list. Or if you're not sure if you're ready for it, just go to disruptorschool.com and you will come in through this. I'm going to give you, I just want to kind of know who you are, so if you're an entrepreneur, agency owner, or freelancer, so I can understand how best to set you up for success. And you get instant access to the newsletter. And from there, then you can also bump forward. I'll just show you what this looks like. Just do it for me. Boom. I'll say that I'm, okay, what? Something went wrong. Yep, because I didn't put it down this. Okay, boom. And then it will say, thanks for signing up. And then when you get the email, it'll take you straight into how to get more advice and scale more things. So my number one recommendation is just go to disruptorschool.com/MBA. That's going to be your best way to jump in and help you out. Now, hey, Charlie, we sell kids' books and sound books. I love that people are in the live and in the comment section. In our case, the multiple angles of different customer avatars is goal to test all of these angles across different avatars. It shouldn't be. There's no reason you want to test all of these angles across different things. That's just doesn't matter. You don't want all of the angles across all the avatars. You want the best 2 or 3 kinds of customers. If there are 8 to 10 angles with 6 different customer avatars with different concepts, you could potentially test 50 ads a month. Yeah, or you could make a lot more money. Which are the 2 or 3 avatars that are more likely to spend money? Who are the people that come back and buy again and again? What are the products they buy when they're the first purchase? What are the products when people buy when their first purchase is worth more money? What is a transaction where the AOV on the first sale is greater than the LTV of your average customer? Just focus on selling that thing and get those people to buy more than once. Boom, you will 2 or 3 extra LTV. You will 2 or 3 extra allowable CAC, and you will scale this business. Done. Stop doing all of this stuff, and you'll start making a lot more money. This video shows up at the right moment. Thank you so much. Yeah. You're vibing, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is my story of going from a heroin addict to somebody that fundamentally changed the way that Meta runs their own ads. Where are affiliate links for the clothing, man? I should probably put some together. Thanks for your content. You're the best. Hope you can elaborate more on the multiple catalog campaign concept. I have entire video series around all of that stuff. So if you want to learn more about the catalogs and everything there, check out the playlist that I have on catalog ads. I don't have the time to get to it today as much as I want to. Thank you. This is what gain undeniable value. Awesome. Remember, if you want to be a media buyer in 2026 and earn a 6-figure income, you have to create undeniable value instead of just being somebody pushing buttons, doing a job that is immediately replaceable by somebody else who's willing to take less money. Love it. You've requested to be part of the school. I think we just cleared out the request. Somebody was in there today doing it. My partner, her name is Jess. We just go through all the applications because there's so many people. And if you're a spammer, we just kick you out. Wow, inspiring. Thank you for your story. Thank you so much. Hey, sir, do you think the Flex 322 method actually use different concept videos at the same concept at different iterations? I would do the same concept at different iterations. You see so many people saying, oh, well, you got to stop doing the idea of doing like 10 different hooks to try to get somebody to sell, doesn't work anymore. That's complete nonsense, especially if your business isn't at a place where you have that problem. It's just a way for people to sell more creative. Stop paying attention to sales pitches as a way to improve your business. You don't listen to a salesperson about your problems because they're likely to tell you all of the problems and how they can solve it. I'm giving you the pass to everything. And if you want to talk to me more, you can pay for it. But that's it. Just apply to it. Anything to speed it up. Look, the only thing I can do to speed it up is just please wait. I'm doing my best. There's a lot of people that are coming in. I want to grow my business and not to brag about ROAS. Thank you so much, Jersey. Enjoy your fam. Thank you so much, Lenny. Regarding clarifying the one campaign per business objective, I think it should really be useful to go in depth on the topic. Ad account structure that runs multiple campaigns per an objective. I have a one campaign video that I am going to be launching in the next week or so that talks all about that. Plus, Mircha, if you want to know more about this stuff, jump into the academy. I know that you are a Disrupt Your School Inner Circle member for a long time, and we shut that down. Jump into the academy or the MBA program, and you're going to get it. All right, let me grab some popcorn, right? Yeah. Konstantinos won't come on a call with me. He says it's a waste of time because I'm a lazy marketer, and then I just point to like why what he does doesn't work. I'm an agency owner, but my Facebook knowledge is stupid. Luckily, I found you. I'm so happy that you did. Please make one for local lead generation for local businesses. I did do a local business thing. I am working on a lead gen course for Disruptor Academy. We are building right now a one campaign method, what we're calling Andromeda 1. We're building a course for that. And then after that, I think we did a poll in the community what you guys want to see next, and the results of that poll as of right now, 29 people want the one campaign method, and then 23 people want the lead generation, then 5 folks want the print on demand. So it looks like that's the order that we're going to be doing things in. What you want is what you get, and I'm just here to make it happen for you. Can we get a step-by-step campaign structure for e-com business with a small budget? Absolutely. That's what we literally have inside Disruptor Academy. If you want to learn how to build from step-by-step for small business, it's the creative testing. It's the creative testing on Meta after Andromeda. That's $147 to sign up for a month. You'll probably make that back in a week. It's dumb to not do it. All right. What if you're selling digital courses? The campaign structure is the same? Yes. You should be aiming for cost per book call. If it's a call funnel, sure. If it's a course checkout, at the end of the day, scale what makes the business money. It's always been saying the key points. He used to correct the wrong ideas about the one campaign, but all these guys never seem to heard about anything on the one campaign and a few ads. Most important part people often forget is the business will ultimately determine if your vanity metrics look good or not. It's not about hearing is what it's about seeing the ad accounts. One of these, dude. Yeah, I've shown multiple ad accounts. Konstantinos doesn't look at the videos. That's fine. You missed the point again, which is why he had to correct you in the video in the first place. You hear what you want to hear. And he says, bro, cool. It's not really a response. You nailed it 310. There's a lot of big talk out there, but yours the best. Well, thank you so much. Based on the principles, I'm now running a one campaign, 2 reels, $8 CPMs. Love this. And crime fiction while landing page and API sorts are off the charts. My experience is that Andromeda is awarding non-sales nuance and entertainment value. Keep it up. Fantastic. Somebody else is winning. Hey, Charlie, just a question. Does that mean it's better to have a different, separate CBO campaign if I'm running discounts and offers and a separate campaign for the strong product? Yes. Do not combine your offers inside of one campaign. Anybody that tells you to do that does not understand how the one campaign method, which is one of the reasons why Constantino says it doesn't work, because anytime he's ever run it, it's failed because he set it up the wrong way. Listen, don't get this confused. It doesn't matter what objective you're running. You have to let your ads grow, meaning CBO at the beginning, limit the potential of your ads. CBO at the beginning will not limit the potential. Give it time so that the algorithms can learn. Totally believe that after a period of time. Then you're choosing CBO. I think this person's trying to say run ABO early on. Definitely wouldn't do that. From watching your video, Charles, I'm glad that you clarified it's one campaign for business objective. I think so many people miss that. Get it? No, we actually know they didn't start this. Of course, they adapted it later. If you watch the old videos with the post-it note, that's one campaign per objective. Yes, Konstantinos, I had to change the way I communicated it because so many people ran with it and didn't understand what I was saying. And so I added more context and more clarity. I responded to the feedback, and then I updated the messaging so that people could feel more happy and be more powerful and more consistent and more independent, so they didn't need to hire folks with agencies to take credit for their work. They can scale their own businesses. We disagree, even though we see better results from more campaigns across more accounts. I haven't seen a single one of Konstantinos' video talk about better results. I've just seen how to get higher ROAS, and then he's constantly saying that Facebook is just throttling you at a certain level of spend and a certain level of results. But hey, I'm not playing the victim card. I'm just scaling businesses, and I've explained to Konstantinos in his own videos how to get past those points, and it'll be interesting to see if he responds to that. In theory, it sounds nice, but fails on scaling. Not true. As somebody who watches both channels, the Konstantinos and the Face have been so entertaining. I'm so glad. Interesting. Which one have made you more money? If only it was simple to explain. I love that. Adam, I love this. The best experience is teacher. The best teacher is experience. I think this is great. You should be listening to everybody you can to learn as much as you can. That's what it's all about. Love the idea. So this is about how ROAS is a scam, but how do you know which ones to keep running? The ones that earn more spend and help your business perform better are the good ads. The one that earn more spend and make your campaign perform worse are the bad ads. Simple. GPT is absolutely an answer. If incremental attribution doesn't show which ad drove the results, how can GPT be really used to guide decisions? Because you layer GPT with 4PI and then you go. Love it. Too much talk makes the learning boring. Sorry, Smooth Hassani. I'm not more entertaining. I'm just trying to help people be successful. Question, why is the one Advantage Plus turn up the ads at level? I don't know. You have to ask Sam. Sam, after I did this video, joined Disruptor Academy. So jump on into Disruptor Academy, tag them, maybe get an answer. I agree with most of your methodology, but I have a few concerns. Lack of clear video instructions. I haven't been able to find a dedicated, up-to-date video that how to properly structure campaigns in the Meta dashboard. Only ones I found are 3 months old that only briefly explain how to build a 3-2-2 flexible ad campaign. So here's the thing, hire loyal. I do this inside of the Meta. I do this inside of the Meta MBA program. I do this inside of Disruptor Academy, and I filmed some videos on this that are coming out later this month. Please subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss it. Love it. All right. Your questions here. Could you share a dedicated video on the guide that explains? Yes. How to analyze results. We do that 100% with 4PI videos. How to properly graduate ads. That is part of the creative testing on Andromeda, creative testing on Meta after Andromeda video, a course that is in Disruptor Academy. So I'm talking so fast. Just want to try to make through all of this stuff. You guys can watch this thing back on replay and slow it down. Whether budget limitations should be applied to testing ad sets, you can absolutely do that. Again, all of that, all of these questions are answered inside the creative testing on Meta after Andromeda course, which you can only get by becoming a member. Most of the master classes that we have in here, like the split testing, the TikTok, the newsletters, the influencers, the YouTube ads, the boost posting, the bootstrapping e-commerce, the Google search, all of this stuff. Most of them are available by one-time purchase. This one you have to be a member because there's so many questions. The creative testing on Meta after Andromeda, you have to be a member because there's just so many questions. And I don't want somebody buying something, not understanding how to get support, and then saying it doesn't work, because then we get more Konstantinoses and Chases and Sam saying the one campaign method doesn't work by showing something that is set up improperly. Can we just admit it's a scam? Agree. Love it. Okay, so I think we got through all of that stuff with 5 minutes left. Oh. Okay. Now, we're going to go to my channel. And I'm just going to see the notifications just to make sure that we got everything else. I think we did. I think we got everything. Oh my God. To this feedback, interesting, because they don't always show this stuff. Show us ad accounts that scaled the same way Constantinos ad accounts with your approach and strategy. As simple as that. Here's the one thing. This is, let me just highlight this piece here. Nico mentions this, and I saw the same thing after the Jordan Menard conversation. I get the same feedback from the people that follow Ben Heath or Chase Chappelle or Iman Ghazi, all these folks. Agency owners showing that the ad account is successful is very different than saying this is what we did to grow the business so that we could spend more on ads. A good ad account is not the reason a successful business scales. A successful business is the reason you can spend more money on ads. Ad spend is a ramification of profit in the business. If you are only focused on first order profitability, then yes, your ad account is the way you're going to grow it. But as soon as you add in email or search, or have anybody ever buy from you more than once, or you get a decent affiliate or organic, focusing on making the top of the funnel more efficient just starves volume for everything. And then you compete for silly numbers like ROAS, where you're trying to take as much credit for the sales that happen instead of trying to get as much sales to happen. That's the fundamental mental shift that I want to help you guys get to here. Okay. Multiple products. I'm just trying to see if there's anything in here that we didn't get to, because sometimes I come back and I'm like, where was that when I pulled it up? Yeah, I think we got to everything here. So with all of that being said, I just want to say this. I really appreciate what you guys are doing here. Every one of you that comes into the program, to the MBA or to the Disruptor Academy, it really just means a lot. I just want to walk through the MBA real quickly, okay? We're actually going to share the screen here for a moment. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what it looks like in a way that I feel comfortable sharing right now. So first off, in the community, there's about 90 members currently active, and I'm sharing the tests that I'm currently doing every week. This is a 14-minute video on me trying to break all of the advice that I give to see what the results look like. Now, inside the classroom, we have the masterclass library, which is just a ton of 2-hour-long classes on a bunch of things, from lead gen to boost posts, surveys, psychology, profitable scaling margin, Google search, how to build a GPT, freelancers, Google shopping, like everything you need to be a full stack marketer and run your business inside and run the marketing side of your business is all included in there. We also have all the group recordings from everything. We also have all the partner decks from all the partners that we have. We have the Meta Blueprint in here that's really helpful. We have the creative testing on Meta. We have 1,000 creative ad templates in here. And then in the program, let's break this down real quick. We have the Scrum Doc, which teaches you how to understand performance so that ultimately what you get is how to move away from ever worrying about attribution ever again. And you can understand the contribution of each business objective. Then we get into optimization and PCE, profit, cost, efficiency, so that you can more effectively acquire profit, focusing on volume of profit, volume of revenue, growth potential, how to build leverage instead of focus on ROAS, which is quite literally the opposite of leverage. ROAS is taking advantage of leverage to limit possibility. Scaling your business is the generation of leverage with your top of funnel marketing efforts. That's what Facebook is. Meta is a top of funnel marketing effort. The more efficient the top of the funnel is at getting somebody down to the very bottom, the less volume you have of every other channel to take credit for the sales and ultimately get sales. Email is more efficient than Facebook. Search is more efficient than Facebook. If you want to drown out the efficiency, the opportunity of those more efficient channels, all you're doing is making less money and you're working harder to do it. That doesn't make any sense. We then get into the automated rules, so you can automate step 1 and step 2 to massively scale the business. Then we get into creative testing. This is the Golden Bear methodology. This is understanding exactly how to build your business to get yourself in the best situation to be a high quality business partner with the platform, so your CPMs go down, so you buy higher quality inventory from folks. The real thing that people need to understand is the more ads you're launching, the more tried people that you're trying to reach, the dumber you make the machine, because the more difficult you make it for them to serve the right ad to the right person, the right ads to the right people in the right order, who are your ideal customers, the more difficult it is going to be for you to scale. So Golden Bear literally breaks down every single element of every single ad to put you in the best situation to win. Then we get the documentation and nomenclature, so you stop having meetings about meetings. You can start actually operating a full business. Then we get into creative testing next steps. How do you build a control ad set? How do you scale your creative testing? How do you see what else is going on? Then we get into the ecosystem doc, which is how do we understand and measure incrementality? How do we stop worrying about attribution models? How do we scale businesses by focusing on amplifying more efficient channels? How do you run your Facebook ads specifically to make sure that email and search and Amazon scale what they're doing? How do you run your meta ads alongside something like AppLovin so that you get more email addresses and ultimately improve the quality of attracting the attention to people who are likely to buy more than once, so you can scale your business on recurring revenue instead of being first order profitable or needing to be first order profitable and having that be the reason you're not nearly as successful. We get into financial planning so you can understand how to plan ahead for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, the next year. And you can understand this is a spot where we need to get as much cash flow as possible. This is a spot where we can lose money on customer acquisition costs. This is a spot where we need to focus on getting as many new customers as possible, and where you are throughout the year fundamentally changes. So you need to have a different plan for each parts of the year. When people talk about, well, this campaign method doesn't work, well, it's probably because what you're trying to do doesn't match what your needs are. We then get into the testing roadmap so you can project manage many different types of teams. Then we get into the brand dev so you can understand how to build an audience, to build a business, to build a moat around your brand so that you can ultimately scale the business and be less conquested by other folks and more focused on getting folks who are likely to buy from you so that you build your warm audience. How do you build fans and then offer them something? That's one of the easiest ways of building brand loyalty, long-term cash flow cycles, multiple purchases, and being less and less concerned about the ROAS on the ad account and way more concerned about the volume of high-quality customers that you're buying, right? That's the difference between a hunter and a farmer. This is how you weaponize all of that in a way that also just makes everything else easier. Then we get into a 90-day plan. How do you understand clear goals for 30, 60, 90 days out and project manage that, whether your team is 3 people, 2 people, or 30? Then you get into all the advanced curriculum, the lead qualifier stuff, the custom conversions, the volume and margin things, all of this. And now we're going to be adding in inside the community here. We also do news and we have a poll. And it looks like when we look at the poll, the Andromeda 1 has the most votes. Then we're going to get to the rebuttal upsell and the customer journey stuff. Like, this is for operators that want to make a lot of money. There are men and women around the world that are seeing success in a way that they just haven't before. Then they're brands that have been able to fire their agencies and be wildly more successful. And to be fair, joining the NBA is a lot cheaper than having an agency around for a couple of months. There are people that run ads for other people that are able to provide that undeniable value to show to the business you are growing because of what we do together, not just because of my ability to increase the ROAS so I can take more credit for the work that everybody else is doing. Like, this is what it's all about. All right, what we're doing here is setting you up to make 2026 the best year ever. You can join Disruptor Academy for free. If you're spending $500, $1,000 a day, or a bit more, the Meta MBA program is probably the best place for you. I highly recommend you join. Our cohort launches on the 12th. It'll be a 12-week-long cohort and 6 months access to the mastermind group. Every week, the cohort has calls with me. You also get 3 one-on-one calls throughout the process. And the mastermind group has 1 call with me every week as well. We are adding in 1 or 2 new courses to that almost every month. And so you're going to be able to open up your ad account, get direct help on your business. You can open up your landing pages. We can work on offer construction, CRO, emails, and cross-channel applications. And I'm going to be able to be there with you every single step of the way to get you the success that you deserve. If you want that, instead of an agency owner trying to help you understand how to make your ads look better so that you can become more and more dependent on them. If you want independence instead of being more enthusiastic about being dependent, that's what we do here. So that being said, thank you all very much. I have some more videos to make. The 322 video is coming out soon. The retargeting video is coming out soon. The 1 campaign video is coming out soon. I'm also wrapping up the customer journey thing so that you can stop focusing on ROAS and start buying cash flow cycles. And I'm doing reaction videos to Sam Piliero and Matt Shiver. And I'm looking for 3 to 4 more videos to do. So if you're watching this, please drop a link in the comment section to any videos you would like me to address. And until next time, I will see you on the internet. Thank you so much, everybody. Good day. All right.